So I'm here this week with my partner, Matt Laird, and we'll be covering what's going on with sales in January 2025. So Matt, we launched 2 listings last month.
Yeah.
What was the initial buyer feedback?
People were really excited early on. I think if listing comes out with some sort of excitement to get people in the door, pricing per square foot, per unit, attractive cap rate, some sort of value add upside, people are really excited. We get a lot of attention, a lot of early interest, and then our goal is to get them in for a tour.
So how many tours have we had so far this year, if you had to guess?
On those 2 listings, a little over 20 total.
Okay, so we got 20 groups showing up. And if you had to compare that to maybe Q1, the months in Q1 last year.
Quite a bit more this year than last year. Yeah.
Local
folks.
Local folks?
Definitely local.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's most important to them when they're analyzing these opportunities?
Yeah, it's the upside. It's what they're getting right off the bat. But I think once they tour, and if they're seeing, folks are getting a lot more picky after the tour.
Okay.
A lot more folks are saying, I'm going to pass. I'll wait for the next opportunity.
And what do you think they're waiting for?
Just something better. I think a lot of it has to do with the physical plant of the building. Systems is the biggest thing for lending and insurance. But that's typically the folks that are passing because of the physical building. Which
is kind of the flip side. I think a lot of the listings are coming to us from people who own for a long time.
Yep.
They're being dropped by their insurer, can't keep up with the maintenance. Yep. So is anyone solving that, or do you think there's an opportunity there?
We're helping solve it for folks on the insurance front and for the lending front. So we've got contacts that have been really good at getting us over those hurdles, but it still is preventing people from taking that next step.
Gotcha.
And finalizing underwriting and submitting offers. So just whittling down the buyer pool a little bit.
Okay. But it does sound like there might be an opportunity for a buyer if they get comfortable with that to get some pretty good deals.
Yep, absolutely.
And then thinking of our listings from last year, we do have some that haven't sold.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think those will sell? And if not, why?
I think they will. I think that the sellers are starting to get a little more realistic on price, and the operations at the property or whatever was the negative downside of the property has started to get better. And so I encourage folks to start looking at those deals again.
Okay.
I think there's deals to be had.
Okay. So we've talked about some of the opportunities in Seattle. What are the buyers most nervous about right now?
I think one thing that keeps coming up, and it's been coming up for a while, but it's rent control. It's just not knowing when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen, could happen.
Yeah, and what type of regulation it is.
Exactly.
There's some that look favorable, there's some that look really poor for landlords.
Yep.
So what would you tell someone that owns a building, is concerned about rent control, maybe wants to get out of the market? What should they do?
If you're on the fence, now is probably the time to test the market, to maximize your value before something comes down the pipeline that could really negatively affect it.
Okay. For our last 3 or 4 listings, we've seen multiple offers.
Mm-hmm.
So what I always tell an owner, you get 3 offers, you can make the decision.
Yep.
The market's not kind, but it's honest.
Yep, exactly.
And we can get you multiple offers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.